How's it going, guys? It is vlog time again, and we're going to be talking about English exams for non-English speakers, right? Ooh, nerve-wracking, I know. So we're going to touch on two different types. We're going to go for our Ielts and our TOEFL. I'm pretty sure I got these abbreviations right, but if I haven't, I will pop it up in a bubble above or to the sides, wherever there's space, and I'll let you know about the correct abbreviations, right? So let's get straight into it. First thing we're going to talk about is important questions for our Bready. So super important questions that we should be asking our Bready. Now, we don't have to ask them this every single time they have a lesson. Why? Because 9 out of 10 times, if they've had 5 lessons already, they've probably been asked this a few times, right? And if your buddy has done their review correctly, well, they would have put it in the review anyway. So it just kind of wastes their time and your time. But if it's the first time that this Bready's had a lesson with you, right? He's going for his completely wrong there. Ielts, right? He's going for his first exam. It's his very first lesson. He's done one taster and this is his first normal session, right? I would probably end up asking these questions at that time. Or even if it's his first taster, right? I'd probably ask these questions at that time. Or if I can't find it in the review and I'm not 100% sure what the purpose is or why he wants to do this or when his exam is, right? Then I'd probably end up asking these questions. So what are these questions that I'm talking about, right? Number one, find out when the exam is, right? Get the actual date. Why? Because if it's 2 days time, well, got to knuckle down and get the job done, right? And you've got to deal with the most important aspects of the tests pretty much immediately. If it's in 2 weeks time, well, you've got a little bit more time to prepare your Bready. If it's in 2 months time, it's even better. If it's in a year's time, well, you got all the time in the world, right? But you've got to crack on, you've got to get it done. So find out when the actual test is, and then work out a little map of what you need to go through, what you need to learn, how much time he's got, and all that. It just makes preparing so much easier. So that's question number one. Question number two, why is he taking it, right? Is he taking it because he has to do the exam? Is he taking it because he's thinking about doing it and he might want to go study at an English university? Or is he taking it because his mom said he has to, right? Find out why. And the reason why we should find out why, because this is his motivation. If it's for him, if it's because, well, I want to go study at this place and I want to be this and I want to be that, well, his motivation is going to be there and it makes your job so much easier. If he answers and goes, well, my mom made me do it, or my dad wants me to do it, or whatever the case would be, from that point of view, well, now his motivation's not there, or it's not as high as him doing it for himself, which means you have to do something to keep that motivation up, right? Question number two, bam. Number three would be, what is his strengths and weaknesses? Now, he might know what they are, he might not know what they are, okay? But it's worth asking him the question, okay? Are you strong with these points? Are you weak with these points? Do you like the listening activities? Do you like the talking activities? Do you like the writing activities? Do you like that? Bam, bam, bam. What don't you like? And then that way, when you're preparing for your next class, or when you're preparing for the class, if it's in the review, you can go, well, he's weak at talking, so let's focus the entire lesson on talking, or maybe 15 minutes of talking, 5 minutes of writing, and the rest of the time on maybe listening activities. Or break it up however you want to, depending on his strengths and his weaknesses, right? So that's pretty much it for the questions. 3 simple questions. Why are you doing it? What are your strengths and weaknesses? And when is your exam? Remember them, it'll make your your preparation time so much easier and just make everything so much better. Perfect. So let's move on to the next section. Cool, guys. So I'm going to go through an Ielts taster and then a normal session of that taster, right? Now, although I'm going through the Ielts, it's pretty much the exact same for the other one. Just apply it differently or just do the research on that one. So let's go through the first part. So either they're going to be doing it for general purposes or academic purposes. Now, this is where that first question comes in hand, where what are you doing it for, right? Are you doing it for an exam? Are you thinking about doing the exam? Are you doing it because your mom wants you to do it? And that'll dictate whether he's doing it for academic purposes or just general purposes. It's the exact same taster. However, if it's for general purposes, well, there's no real time limit on it. But if it's for academic purposes and his exam is in 2 weeks' time, well, now you've got a time limit and you've got to get through everything as quick as you can, but make sure that he learns the most that he possibly can in your sessions. So there's a couple of sessions, not a couple of sessions, a couple of questions on the actual taster. How do you feel about it? How do you feel about the test, that is? Do you know anything about it? Why are you taking your test, which is one of the questions? And which area are you most confident in, which is the other question, right? The one question that I didn't mention that's pretty important is, what do you know about it, okay? If they know a lot about the test, well, A for away, it makes your job so much easier. If they don't, the first 2 pages after the icebreaker gives you the, wham, let's get there, perfect. Gives you the breakdown of the actual test. So if you didn't Google it, or if you haven't had a chance to Google it, well, that's right there in front of you. So log into your taster session a few minutes before the session and go through it. You're listening, it's 30 minutes plus 10 minutes to transfer answers to your answer sheet, and there's 4 recordings that you've got to listen to and answer questions on. Right? You're reading, it's 60 minutes and it gives you a breakdown of what that is. You're writing, again, 60 minutes and another breakdown, and you're speaking, well, 11 to 14 minutes and another breakdown, okay? So spend a couple of minutes explaining this to your Bready if he has no idea what the test is about. And that's the general training or the general purposes, bam. If it's for academic, well, it's pretty much the same. There might be a couple of extra add-ons there. However, it's exactly the same. Go through everything. 30 minutes for listening, 60 minutes for reading, breakdown of it, writing. What is he going to do? Well, he's going to do a writing tasks that lasts, well, X amount of time, but there needs to be at least 150 words where the candidate must summarize, describe, or explain a table, graph, chart, or diagram. And then a short essay task of at least 250 words, which isn't too much for us, but however, or not but, however, however, it might be a lot for them because they might not have done it before in their lives, right? So explain it, go through it as best you can, use props, handwriting, write something down on a piece of paper and explain it that way if you have to, but make sure that they understand exactly what each step is all about. So this taster is based on speaking. Like I said, it's just a taster, so it's just a certain part, and it starts off with something super easy. Let's just go through that. More tips and tricks on how to actually help them, but what I wanted to get through is to the first questions over here, part 1, introduction and interview, which is generally 4 to 5 minutes. It'll give you an explanation. You can skip over this or let your Bready read it or read it to your Bready, or just go straight to the questions and start talking to them. Now, this first one is short, simple questions, so you're looking at like 1 sentence per answer, right? But there's only 4, so use your extension resources, use your initiative, and then add on questions to that. What are the people doing in the picture? Where do you think this is? Where do you think this car's going to? What is this over here? Do you know? And then get them talking as much as you possibly can, right? Then the next one that we're going to go through is accommodation, and it's exactly the same thing, right? Tell me about the kind of accommodation you live in. They might not know the word accommodation yet. They might, because they're doing the exam, they might be really, really good at speaking English, okay? But just use your initiative in that area. And then as you go through, you'll get through different types of questions. You'll get your individual long turns. You'll get one of these is a two-way discussion. There we go. So you're actually having an open-ended discussion. I'm not asking questions. We're talking, which is probably one of the more important aspects, I would think as well. And then as you go through the taster, you'll just get different questions and different ways of speaking. Right? Like I said, it's just a taster, so don't stress about all the other options or the other sections. Once we get into the normal sessions, that's where you will end up learning those or teaching those. And that's pretty much what I'm going to go through for the tasters. I'll catch you right now for the normal sessions. Cool guys, so once you've logged into your actual IQBar website, you've used your username and password, click on the resource tab right on top, and then on the left hand side at the bottom you'll see exam preparation resources. Now once you've done that, you'll end up having a page that looks like this. And yes, there's loads of them, but just click on the one you need. If you've done, or if you're doing PET, click on that. If you're doing TOEFL for juniors, click on that. If you're doing KET, click on that. If it's TOEFL, normal one, not for juniors, for adults, teens, click on that one. So we're going to go into that. Now, as we get into that, once it's loaded, perfect, right? You'll have a whole bunch of different documents. Okay, now, here's the deal. The first one over there, bam, course book, is most likely the entire book, which will take forever to upload. The rest of these ones are broken down into certain pages. So if you have a look over here, it's from cover to page 33. If you look at this one, well, it's from cover to page 36. If you look at this one, it is from page 103 to 146. If you look at this one, it's page 37, which is from there to page 84. So look which pages you need, or which pages you need to do from the previous review, and then only upload that section. And again, as we all know, generally 2 pages per session. I will double check on that to see if I'm right or wrong, but I stick to 2 pages per session unless they're amazing, and then I'll do a couple more pages, or just extend on what's right in front of you, right? Remember, be creative and extend. Extending is your friend. So if we go straight out of this, because there's one other thing that I want to show you, and it's in the Ielts. I was going to say Ielts. Over here, bam, let it go into that, and there we go. So right over there is the full tests with audio, okay? So it gives you a couple of tests and the audio files, uploaded exactly the same as you would in a normal class, songs with audios, documents with a document section, and then go through the actual tests with audios if you like. This is exactly the same, except there's a little extra folder here that isn't in the other one that says strategies and tips, and it basically helps you out with teaching it. But all in all, it's exactly the same thing, right? Cover page to practical Ielts strategies, and then cover page to page 20, or cover page to page 25, cover page to page 53, page 155 to end of practicals, and it just makes everything so much easier because it's in little pieces. And then upload those to the class, go through what you need to go through, and prepare, and A for away, you got it nailed down. Cool. Any questions? Give me a shot, guys. On that note, peace out. I will check you on the flip side.